Hello, how's everybody doing today? This is probably going to be a really short video. I'm not feeling well. I've got the solar plexus muscle. Apparently, I have torn it and strained it along with my groin muscle. So I've been in a lot of pain. Basically, what I wanted to talk about today is there is a case in Tennessee. I believe it's Harshaw County is how you say it, Robertsville, Tennessee. It's the missing Summer Wells girl that's 5 years old. Her parents are Dawn and Candace, and the grandmother is also named Candace. Apologize for squirming around. I'm just in a lot of pain, guys. I apologize. Anyway, long story short on this one, they live in a very secluded part of Tennessee, very rural. Kind of similar to where I live and have lived in North Carolina, not far from the Tennessee line. They seem very poor. There's allegations of drug use and abuse on both the parents and alcohol abuse as well. They're claiming that their daughter was abducted within less than 5 minutes time from their home, where their other three children, I think ages 9 to 12, almost 13, were in the upstairs, and the mother and grandmother were right outside in the yard. The mom was adjusting the grandma's brace on her knee, supposedly for like 2 minutes, she says. The stories have changed from the parents, not greatly, but enough that they don't make sense. There's lapses in time. Of course, the police are not revealing everything as they shouldn't, because they want to, cross their T's and dot their I's so that they can make sure that whoever did something to this child pays for it. There's just a lot of allegations out there. The father's family has come out. He's saying it's his step family, with allegations that his stepsister was, and I have to say S.A., it's S period, A period, by him when she was younger. And apparently there's somebody else in the family claiming, similar thing by him. His oldest son, by his first wife, actually has been convicted of SA of a 14-year-old girl when he was 19 years old. And the dad kind of downplayed it to his son. That first wife has also alleged, and I do say alleged, that he tried to sell two of their younger children to a drug dealer for drugs. He is now saying that he went to prison, done his time, whatever, and he found Jesus, and he is a Seventh-day Adventist. He's very active in the church since October 2020. The wife, the story is really weird. Grandma was at the hospital. There's a 15-year-old minor. Everybody calls him H or Macbeth. He says she called him. She says he called her. She stated to him, whoever called, that she was waiting on Grandma to get done at the hospital, which can take hours. And she went to pick him up. While they're there talking, the grandma calls. She's ready to go. They have to go pick her up. And something about going fishing. He leaves with her, even though her and the mom have had a falling out. And they go to pick up Grandma at the hospital, drop her meds off at the Walgreens, make several other stops, and then go swimming at a little swimming hole that's near the pharmacy. And she makes a TikTok video and posts it. And then they get the meds. They drop H off at his house. H's mom says that Summer was asleep, laying on these milk jugs. There's a picture on the internet floating around. Some people are saying that she was deceased at that time and they had her laying on the milk jugs to keep her complexion proper and to change her temperature. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Facts is what I'm trying to say right now in the case. No opinion yet. No trace of this little girl has been found. the terrain is very rough around their house, and they live almost on a hill that's surrounded by trees, almost like a castle on a hilltop, except it's very much so not castle like. There's been several interviews with the parents and the 15-year-old minor H and his mother by several different, of news type stations on YouTube. Um, One is the interview room with Chris McDonald, I think that's how you say his name, Chris McDullough. He's an ex detective, and he worked, from what I understand, with missing children's cases and whatnot. You can tell that he has his opinions about it, but he's trying to remain neutral and not voice those opinions. Especially this most recent interview he did. And after that last interview was published, where he recounted the phone conversation that he had with the father goes on to Facebook, and he had already maligned the Dave guy, Dave Rader, that runs Texas EquiSearch, that it came in and helped law enforcement search for this young lady that's missing. He'd already maligned them and said that it was fruitless. They needed to block roads. They needed to check out of the country, that she's been kidnapped and taken far, far away from here. That's been what he said since day one. Give him that. And then after this interview, he calls the Chris guy a liar, says he's a liar just like his stepsister and the biggest liar of all liars, and that he twists his words or whatever. So that's pretty much where the story's at right now. They're wanting the mom to take a second polygraph test. The sheriff's department in that area has relieved the emergency response teams from doing any more searching or any more involvement. They've thanked but no thank you to Texas EquiSearch and are moving along with their investigation. However, because they have had one press conference, this little girl has been missing for almost 2 months now, and they've had one little mini press conference to say where they stand and what they feel, and that's pretty much all they've issued on it. There's a whole bunch of psychics involved. I mean, it's turning into a 3-ring circus. And what's sad, because a lot of people are losing sight of the fact that to figure out where this little girl is the big thing. And then if you have seen anything about this and seen their house and the situation, you know that there's a lot of nooks, crannies, crevices that a small child could disappear in. There is bear in that area too. I mean, the people that came from Texas EquiSearch even ran into a bear on one of their scouting trips. All that being said, my personal opinion, there's definitely 3 adults, possibly 4, and 1 minor that know more than they're telling. The boy H knows more than he's telling. They're hiding stuff. And again, this is my opinion. The mother, the grandmother, and the dad, and H's mother, there's something they're not telling. There's something they're hiding. Now, whether it's relevant to the disappearance or not, I don't know. But there's something missing in every single one of them's story. And there's also something missing in every one of them's actions. Listen, I know about being a strong person and holding it in and being taught that you don't cry in front of other people. It's a sign of weakness, and you don't let them see that. I know all about that. Okay? And I understand and empathize. And yes, I do believe that the mother is an abused woman. Absolutely. Wholeheartedly. She's not even claiming she is. But just by certain actions and reactions, yeah, I totally believe that. That being said, she knows more than she's telling. The daddy knows more than he's telling. The grandma knows more than she's telling. And the 15-year-old and his mama know more than they're telling. Now, whether it's just that, hey, grandma got a prescription of pills and we all imbibed in them, and that's what we always do, or that we all get drunk and party together and swap partners, fine. But there's something that they know that they're not telling. And in my heart of hearts, I believe that there was contact made that day when the mom went out with somebody that they're not telling. There is some suspicion that the dad wasn't at work in Kingsport, I believe is what they said, like he claims to have been, that they think he was at the house and left. There's a lot of discrepancies between the 15-year-old story and the mother's story. And grandma just 2 or 3 days in, up and disappears and goes back to Wisconsin. And the big thing, the sister, who would be the aunt to the missing girl, has been missing for, I think, 12 years now. It's been a long time. I'm almost positive it's 12 years and that she's been missing. Similar type circumstances, just poof, disappeared. And her car was found like 5 days later, a couple towns over, at a like truck stop type place, parking lot. It's never been solved. And that was in Wisconsin. I don't know. I hear what really bothers me is I hear a lot of interviewers and news and personalities that have been covering this, even the behavior panel and the body language guy talking about it and attributing certain things that they're saying, doing, and actions to the environment that they live in and are from, that we don't understand, that's in that part of the Appalachians of Tennessee. Well, first of all, I'm in the Appalachians of North Carolina, and I'm probably less than 2 hours from where they're at. And one thing I must say, if you look back, criminal records tell you that they are not from Tennessee. Neither one of them. Don has lived in Utah, Arkansas. I don't know about Wisconsin, but I know he's lived in Utah and Arkansas before he was ever here. And Candace, I remember Wisconsin, Arkansas, Florida. So they, from what I can determine, they've only been living in Tennessee for about 11 or 12 years when Don inherited this property from his mother. And before that, they came to stay with his mother, who got sick and died, and then he got the property. Candace, the mother of the missing girl, took care of his mom until she died. Candace, whose now daughter is missing and sister is still missing, whose first 2 children were taken by CPS. And there's conflicting reports about that too. What do I believe? I honestly believe that these 2 parents, something happened to the child, whether she fell down the stairs and broke her neck and they got scared because there was already a CPS case, or whether they needed to make her disappear because there was a CPS case and they were coming to take the boys and Summer was going to tell how she was abused and they were afraid. I don't know. Because it's funny to me that the dad, who's been accused of SA by more than one family member, comes across today and tells that for the whole 5 years of this child's life, she slept in the bed with him and his mama, or him and his wife. And that's not what his wife said. And then to see the bedroom of this little girl, no pink covers, no purple covers, no blue covers, no posters on the walls, no stuffed animals laying around the bed. Yeah, okay, fine. There was a TV on a stand with some shelving units below it, and her toys and stuffed animals were there, but where were the posters on the wall? Where was her Paw Patrol sticky stuff on? And please don't say that a 5-year-old doesn't have stuff on the wall, because I have a 3-year-old grandson that has more stuff on the wall and more stickers and more animals and whatever on the wall than this little girl that's 5 years old did. Something's just not right. Period. It's not about what they didn't have. It's not about the fact that the little girl ran around barefooted and her hair didn't look brushed and they looked halfway dirty. So what? Kids play in dirt, kids play in mud. They get dirty. That's what they do. It's not about that at all. But what's your opinion? Let me see your comments and your feedback. This is my opinion totally. Staying on the facts. Go watch a couple news programs. Come back. Give me some feedback. Give me some comments. I want to know what you, the people that watch my video, think. And I want to point out, don't say that they're acting this way or that way because they're from Tennessee and that's how that area acts. Because that's not where they're from. That's what they're portraying. That's the face they're putting on right now. That's my opinion. Guys, stay straight. Peace out and hope and pray for me. Throw up some prayers that I get better. Thank you, guys.